Britt Hume was sitting there with this puss on his face, and he was like, oh my God, this is not the Republican National Convention that I know. And it's like, dude, you gotta just evolve. It's like wrestling. The old timers on the younger kids for doing what they're doing today. Just adapt with the times. It was so well done. Now, first of all, the headliner, Donald Trump, obviously, but the Hulkster.
Did you say the Hulkster?
I did.
Wait. Talk about this guy.
Here it comes. Yeah.
Real American and all.
Woo! How great was it when he ripped his shirt and had the Trump shirt underneath it?
Unbelievable.
What a moment. What a great moment. What a great speech. He went from being in character to, switching over, telling everyone, well, I'm Terry Bollea, and talking from the heart. And I just felt like he just delivered a really good speech. Everybody was into it, and he put on a show. And Trump even blew him a kiss. Did you see that one?
Yes.
Did you see him? What? Did you see a little what?
It was what I loved about it? I love that he did the whole spiel, and it was like spot on. He didn't stammer, he didn't stutter, he didn't skip over a word. That one line he had about savage warriors and giants was like, oh my God, mwah. It was like so perfect, right?
So good.
As a Hulkamaniac since 1987, it was unbelievable. It was like watching him in the middle of the ring, right? He was in his element. But when he does I'm not here as Hulk Hogan, I'm here as Terry Bollea, he usually changes it back down to this style voice, right? And he goes into his regular Terry Bollea voice.
No, brother.
But he went right back into the Hogan voice. He went right back into the whole spiel, which I loved. I mean, it was like, if you want to talk strategy, if you want to talk about like looking for the vote, they just went after that 35 to like 50-year-old guy vote, right? Because the Hulkster, and he said this earlier in the day, if you caught Hulkster earlier in the day, you heard what he said on the stage, and it was, he doesn't throw his hat out in the ring, or his headband out in the ring, or his bandana. This was a big declaration on his part. So for him to say, I'm going for this guy, that's an influencer.
Right.
And I think this is, a big pitch to get that vote, that 35 to 50-year-old male vote, in that camp.
And let's talk about that too, because Kid Rock.
Oh my God.
I mean, some people like him, some people don't like him. I've always been a Kid Rock fan. Like I think he's awesome. Seeing him perform and seeing the reaction because when you think of the Republican Party, a lot of people think of older Caucasians, never people of color. There were people of color in the crowd, and all these old white people were rocking it. They were jamming to Kid Rock. And I feel like they're trying to just be like a hipper party and not the same, stuffy fuddy-duddies from your mom and dad's era. To me, they're trying to adapt with the times.
Yes.
And they did like a sidebar. And I was saying, Britt Hume was sitting there with this puss on his face, and he was like, oh my God, this is not the Republican National Convention that I know. And it's like, dude, you gotta just evolve. It's like wrestling. The old timers shit on the younger kids for doing what they're doing today. It's just like wrestling. It's like, dude, just adapt with the times. And it was, to me, it was cool seeing like people like, older people just adapting to people like Kid Rock and Hulk Hogan and just embracing it and just going along with it. I enjoyed it. I thought the speech of the whole 4 nights, the best speech that I heard, despite, Tucker was great. Tucker Carlson was great. And he was the only one that I heard did not use a teleprompter. He was off the fly, off the top of his head. His was second. My favorite one was Don Jr.'s fiance, Kimberly. How do you say her name? Guilfoyle? I don't know how to pronounce her last name. But she gave one hell of a speech, and it was eloquent and to the point. And I just thought that everybody, the granddaughter gave.
Oh, she was excellent. I saw her.
She was adorable.
Yeah, she was great.
Everybody who spoke was just really very eloquently speaking, very I don't know. It just very, to me, it came off as very rah-rah-ish, like, let's go team, you know? It was just, it was so good to me. And I enjoyed it. I literally enjoyed it, because sometimes the politics get boring and the speeches get boring, and you sit there and you're like, oh my God. Now, Trump, when he talked, he went like 96 minutes.
Yeah, he did.
And, you know, I have to admit, I was kind of like, okay, let's wrap this up. It's a little long.
I fell asleep at one
long.
point.
Yeah.
It was long.
I watched the whole thing, though. I watched it. I watched his family come on stage. He has a beautiful family. You can't deny that. Melania is beautiful. Just just a picture perfect family. But overall, I really enjoyed it, and I think they did a hell of a job.